Your name is Spades Slick. You're a grizzled mobster, displaced from your home, estranged from your gang, the Midnight Crew. Things ain't going well for you, and you figure it's high time you start turning tables about it, figuratively and literally. Presently, you're situated in the entrance hall to the Felt Manor, a palatial Viridian mansion in the middle of the woods, the hideout for your sworn foe, Doc Scratch, and his gang, the Felt. The last time you met with the good Doc, he kicked your ass and gave you the bum's rush. What a lousy host he turned out to be. Doc seemed to be of the opinion that you could be coerced into being an errand boy, a patsy, a schnook. Maybe that was true before, but it ain't true now. See, after your last meeting with Doc, you've reunited with your crew after a daring escape from a hostile takeover in your homeland. Let's run down the rogues gallery. First, there's Club's Deuce. He's an accident-prone little fella, the wild card of the bunch. In the same way a lit piece of dynamite is the wild card of a china shop. Mostly he's just a team cheerleader, on account of his sunny disposition. Next there's Heart's boxcars, the brawn of the outfit. With arms as wide as your torso, he can snap any adversary in half, something you relish seeing whenever it happens. Though he's a brute, he's got a soft side. The phrase, "And how does that make you feel?" becoming something of a catchphrase from the Big Galoot. Then there's your right-hand man, Diamond's Droog, the brains to Boxcar's brawn, and the even-tempered to your hot-headed. He's the man with the plan, be it involuntary or premeditated, first degree or second. He's also got the most finely shaped torso you've ever seen, and you do a lot of looking at torsos. And finally, there's you, Spade Slick, the roughest, toughest, meanest knife-wielding maniac ever to be ectobiologized. Teeth like a shark's, hands like an eagle's talons, and an arsenal of knives like some kind of bank in a hypothetical society that uses knives for currency. In this world, it's kill or be killed, and boy do you love killing.
1, 2, you know what to do.
Make her a member of the Midnight Crew. I hate a moral coward, one who lacks a manly spark. I just detest a man afraid to go home in the dark. I always spend my evenings where there's women, wine, and song. And like a man, I always take my little wife along. I'm a member of the Midnight Crew. I'm a night owl and a wise bird too. Home with the milk in the morning, singing the same old song. Rise with the moon, go to bed with the sun. Early to bed and you'll miss all the fun. Bring your wife in trouble, it will never trouble you. Make her a member of the Midnight Crew. Make her a member of the Midnight. Make her a member of the Midnight Crew. All right, boys, you say, standing in the threshold of Felt Manor. Looks like Doc and the goons know we're coming. So much for the element of surprise. Your original plan was to torch the Felt Manor on your own, but that plan had one small problem. A lack of gasoline, matches, and other burning paraphernalia on hand to use. You've downgraded your literal burning to a metaphorical one, but you still feel pretty great about your chances now that you're reunited with your boys. The front entrance is unguarded. Usually one of the green-skinned Felt members is meandering about on guard duty, but today it seems they're not present, allowing easy access to the foyer. That was fishy enough, but as soon as you entered the manor's front door, the place you were tossed out of long ago, a tripwire activated the alarms on a myriad of clocks stashed in the foyer, all ringing and gonging like mad, no doubt alerting your position to the goons further into the building. We all know our jobs, you say, addressing your 3 cohorts. Your crew nods solemnly. You sure about this, boss? Boxcar says, his deep voice uncertain.
Yeah,
Pipes up Deuce.
I mean, this is all giving me final mission type feelings.
Deuce is right. There's something in the air, an air of finality. Not just the solemn acceptance that this mission might be our collective deaths, but something that runs deeper. It could be just your imagination, but there are fewer stars in the sky tonight. The sky is a little less black, and more like a blanket of gray, like you're looking at a worn-out film. It probably is the final mission, says Droog. That doesn't mean we ain't gonna win. Guys, you say, with a tone of restrained annoyance, we could have chatted about the finality of this mission back at the base and not at the Felt's freaking doorstep. Enough with the cinematics. Boxcars and Deuce exchange a sheepish look. You enter the foyer, each holding your weapon of choice. For your part, you're leaning on a cane with a knife hidden inside of it, sheathed in a stick. Each of your cohorts has a gun, including you, but you prefer the up-close and personal touch of a blade. As you all step up the staircase, your mind flashes back to the planning phase of your master plan at the Seed Hub laboratory that your crew converted into a makeshift hideout. You remember splaying a finely laminated and meticulously printed floor plan of the manor and the Felt Gang dossier, courtesy of Droog, on the table, stabbing your knife in the middle of the floor plan for effect. This was easier said than done, and required a few stabs, as the manor's floor plan was nearly a finger width thick, the place being fucking enormous. Most of all, you remember the cheer that roused your 4 boys to action for one final heist. I'm a member of the Midnight Crew. In the present, you're landing on the staircase. First floor. Doc is on the 15th. You nod at your cohorts, but before you can all split up to follow your paths, you hear a loudspeaker crackle to life, a surly voice wafting from it above you, bringing you all to a standstill before you've even begun.
Attention, dipshits,
comes the tired, surly voice over the loudspeaker.
Turn back or your miserable, shitty lives are forfeits, etc., yada, yada, yada.
From the voice, it's clear who this is. Number 7, Crowbar, Doc's right-hand man.
Listen, yous and I both knows that you ain't leaving, so I'll be blunt. You're gonna have to get throughs all of us if you want to lay a finger on Doc. And last time I checked, you don't have any special skills except the miraculous ability to turn into corpses when we kill you. So wise up and fuck off.
The mic buzzes off. Wising up and fucking off are not items on the infiltration itinerary, so you 4 collectively and silently decide to ignore this gruff warning. You hurry to the elevator, clicking the button, waiting impatiently for it to open. Of your cohorts, your route is the fastest, but the most dangerous, going straight up the elevator. As the doors shut, you steal one final glimpse at your cohorts, wondering how many will be left to reunite with later. Your name is no longer Spade Slick.
Your name is Clubs Deuce. Boy, oh boy, an adventure with your pals. You can't wait to get started, even if you are no good in a scrap. That's why you're taking the most unconventional route to floor 14. The vines outside of the building walls. As your boss Slick vanishes into an elevator, you shove open a window and climb deftly out, grasping the creeping vines that line the outside walls of the manor like arteries. The layout of the Felt Manor is downright labyrinthine. From the outside, the place looks imposing, less like a mansion and more like a tower spiraling upwards, balconies jutting out every which way, grasping stone fingers reaching for gray planets miles above. One such balcony that you're approaching has voices wafting off the side. Ah, drat. Looks like you might end up in a scrap after all. You listen to the voices as you try to sneak by.
Just saying, yours isn't a superpower, it's more like a selective trait. Going slow is a thing anyone can do, but going fast is something only I can't doze, says a squirrely, high-pitched voice from above. Maybe, replies a deeper voice, pensive and thoughtful. The monosyllabic response seems to aggravate the zippy voice.
Why do we get on guard duty on the balcony anyway? We already know these dumb fucks got in the clocks in the entrance. We don't need to keep watch. Ugh.
The impatient first voice groans.
Dunno,
Replies the second guy.
maybe
He speaks in a methodical, painfully slow manner.
they're climbing on the walls.
Guy number 1 scoffs.
Yeah, right.
You hear motion on the balcony.
Anyone down there? Yoo-hoo, midnight crew.
A bright green head with a yellow pointed hat on top pokes over the side of the balcony, its eyes meeting yours in shock.
Holy shit, I was just kidding,
He cries. A pair of hands suddenly grab you. You squeak as you're hauled up to the balcony.
Whoa.
Says the second man coming into view. His hat has the number 2 on it and is a deep blue.
Nice job, Itchy.
Itchy and Doze gaze at you dumbfounded. You gaze back, giving them a sheepish wave.
Hi,
You say cheerfully.
golly, sure is a nice day. I'm just the vine inspector, you see. I'm here to inspect the vines. You ain't no vine inspector.
Itchy, the yellow guy, says irritably. His manner is manic. He zips around you, moving in the blink of an eye. You read about this Itchy in the dossier Droog wrote. He can move fast by slowing down his perception of time. His partner must be Doze, with the inverse ability of moving incredibly slowly. It doesn't sound like a superpower to you.
I dunno, Itchy.
Doze speaks, rubbing his chin thoughtfully.
The vines are getting thick.
My friend here is slow in more ways than one, says Itchy confidentially before regarding his partner.
What do you think we should do, Doze? Turn him into the boss?
Doze squints at you thoughtfully.
We should probably
He draws out his sentence.
kill him.
That was all the provocation you needed. From a chest holster, you draw 2 Beretta pistols, popping them off without any discrimination. Itchy zips out the way with a cry.
Whoa, Doze, I thought you were holding him.
Itchy pulls out a knife, and Doze slowly goes for a club. You decide to shoot at Doze now, instead of the guy who can apparently dodge bullets. You shoot once, but before you can see if it hit the blue-hatted Doze, Yellow Hat Itchy tackles you, using his super speed to repeatedly slap your face. Nearby you hear Doze speak. Looks like you hit him in the leg. He's on the ground. Doze sucks air through his teeth. He makes a groan of mild pain. Damn, you just grazed him. Itchy grabs your Berettas, trying to manhandle your guns away from you. Your arms are nearly vibrating from Itchy's speed, but you hold fast.
You shot my friend.
Itchy sounds more annoyed than angry.
Fucker.
It's cool.
Doze says.
Just a graze.
As Itchy tries to wrench the guns from you, one of them goes off, and there's a spurt of crimson blood, contrasting with Itchy's green skin. He recoils, zipping to the other side of the balcony, growling in pain. His side is covered in blood.
Ass.
Itchy seems pissed, and Doze slowly making his way back to his feet, club now drawn. Time to come up with a plan, fast. Itchy is fast, but his control over that speed is tenuous. So far you've only seen him zip over short distances in a blink. An idea slowly forms.
Come at me,
You say, raising a hand into your coat pocket as you provoke the hothead.
Another gun ain't gonna help you.
Itchy says, seeing you reach into your pocket. He zips toward you, going for the tackle, just like you predicted. You feel his torso slam into yours, making you stagger back, but Itchy hesitates with a strangled cough. You weren't reaching for a gun at all. In your coat pocket is a small knife, pointed outwards to catch Itchy's tackle. Your hidden knife has pierced your shirt and is stuck in Itchy's ribs. With a gurgle, Itchy coughs blood onto your shoulder.
Hey,
Doze makes a sound from nearby, dropping his club in shock.
you killed him.
Itchy's limp body falls away, and you brandish your Berettas, but Doze's weapon has been discarded.
I've gotta tell the boss.
Doze makes a break for the nearby door, no doubt on his way to summon reinforcements. The only problem is, making a break for it for Doze means moving at the same speed as a very small ant meandering home after a long night of drinking. You do that, you chuckle. You could finish him off now, but you have a feeling he's not going to be causing you problems anytime soon. Since soon, for this bozo, is hours from now. Unlike Doze, you have places to be in a hurry, so you grab a nearby vine and continue your ascent up the manor wall, leaving Doze to his glacial journey. Climbing gives you a lot of time to look skyward. You weren't sure before, but you're positive now. The sky is almost completely dark, the stars winking out one by one, as if the entire universe is becoming undone. If you had more time to ponder this, you'd probably be worried. Good thing you've got a job to do. Your name is no longer Club's Deuce.
Your name is now Heart's Boxcars. As the biggest guy in the group, your route is the longest, the west staircase leading up to the higher floors. Your job is to clear out any heavy hitters who might be causing problems. A job you absolutely relish, your big broad hands clenching and unclenching in anticipation. It's not long before you run into one of the felt on your prowl through the manor. Luckily, the massive green figure's back is to you. In his hand, no doubt a weapon, something you can't quite make out. It's small and vaguely round. Around the corner from him is another figure, equally massive, standing next to an oven. The duo are standing with vacant expressions, the universal body language of the big galoot. You can handle a big galoot or two. Hey, you shout, making the two galoots turn to you. The one holding the round item has a purple striped hat. His partner with the oven wears an orange striped hat. Unmistakably, this is Eggs and Biscuits. You're not much for reading dossiers, especially ones made by Droog, but you read through enough that you know offhand which ones you could pummel in a contest. These two are bigger than even you are, so you may have to resort to cunning, something these dunderheads seem to be seriously lacking. Are you from the Midnight Crew? Orange-hatted Biscuits asks, taking a step towards his oven. Who wants to know? You say menacingly, withdrawing your melee weapon of choice, a sturdy length of copper pipe, patting it against your palm.
Us, we do,
replies the purple-hatted Eggs with misplaced confidence.
I'm on my way to see Doc Scratch,
you say calmly, stopping about 10 feet away from the duo.
So you'd better not be in my way, or I'll have to make a mess of your faces, gabish?
The duo gaze blankly at you, before breaking out into a bout of oafish laughing.
See this?
Taunts Eggs, holding up a round item, a small baking timer.
This is my egg timer. It's the most sinister weapon in all of the felt.
Yeah, that'll make it so's yous was never even born,
chimes in Biscuits. You take a hesitant step back. Damn, are they serious? You might have underestimated these galoots. Egg cranks the egg timer, making a clicking noise as it begins to count down. There are sparks showering from the kitchen implement, hinting to you that this is no ordinary egg timer, but in fact some magic time travel mumbo-jumbo. Magic mumbo-jumbo is never a good idea in the hands of a galoot, and sure enough, Egg suddenly looks shocked.
Ah, wait, I put it on forwards, not back...
Eggs' statement is cut off, as in a puff of smoke, he vanishes. You gaze at the dissipating smoke, dumbfounded.
Is he,
You point at the spot Eggs was. Biscuit sighs, shaking his head.
He'll be fine. He'll turn up later.
This Biscuits guy seems marginally smarter than Eggs, so for whatever that's worth. You stare at each other, both unsure how to proceed.
So,
is that your magic thingamajig? You ask, pointing the copper pipe to the oven.
Yeah,
he says.
It's like a safe. I can store things in there no matter the size, even people, and only I can get it out again. Then it makes them travel forward in time at a certain rate.
Biscuit scratches his chin.
What's the rate, you ask?
1 second per second, says Biscuits proudly. When you don't reply, he blushes.
It's useful when all your pals have magic time mumbo-jumbo they can do. Gets them all on the same page.
You boggle at this moron, but a rudimentary plan strikes you. If this guy is so eager to show off his precious oven, then maybe...
I bet you couldn't fit yourself in there, you say, trying not to smirk.
Sure could, Biscuit says, opening the door to demonstrate. Inside the oven is a black space, a featureless void that Biscuit steps confidently into, his leg disappearing into the black nothingness. Looks like this is one of them bigger on the inside dealios. There's a moment of pause once Biscuit is inside, and the door shuts.
Oh, man,
comes a voice from inside of it. You rap on top of the oven, chuckling. Looks like your two hypotheses were correct. First, that Biscuits couldn't open his own oven from within, and second, that he's an utter buffoon. Moron, you comment as you walk past the closed oven. You're glad you managed to avoid a scrape this time. Your name is no longer Hearts Boxcars. Your name is Diamond Strube. Your path is the east staircase, across from Hearts' path. You notice on the way up the intricate patterns in the felt carpets and the lovely designs of the banisters and the wainscoting. Doc has good taste, if nothing else. Your path is suspiciously unfettered by felt members, even if you are moving stealthily. Someone less savvy might think this uninterrupted progress is a boon, but you know that being behind enemy lines without resistance is usually indicative of a trap. After some walking upstairs and through clock-strewn green halls, you enter a large room, bookcases extending to the ceiling. There are no other rooms or hallways on this floor. This is clearly a bottleneck. Nearby, a fireplace crackles, casting long shadows over the room. Lit fireplace. Someone's been here. Sure enough, two shadows darken the doors of your entrance and exit. The men cast in the shadows are of similar build to each other, as tall as you and a little wider, their features sharp. One wears an orange 5 hat, and one wears a 3 hat. Finn and Trace. Your research on them was thorough.
Stop right there, buckaroo,
says Finn, the orange-hatted fellow. He's a tough one. He can see the future by following someone's future trail, a trail that extends in the direction of where someone will be, as part of the idiotic time-based powers all these mooks have. No doubt he followed your future trail here and has been lying in wait for your inevitable arrival. His cohort Trace has the opposite ability, to see the trail of where someone has already been. This ability strikes you as more situational than prognostication, but you're one to talk, having no time powers at all. You coolly withdraw your weapon, a Thompson submachine gun painted matte black. The duo does the same, each holding a revolver. "Drop it," says Trace. "You shoot one of us, and before you turn around, the other one shoots you." That's true. You can't kill them both. The duo cock their guns in unison when you don't respond. Slowly you crouch, placing the gun on the floor, kicking it away. You keep your eyes glued to the future seer, Finn. You've got a theory about future sight. If future trails appear as literal tangible trails, then if you move around a lot in a short time, then someone's future trail becomes difficult to read. Your theory is confirmed before you test it, seeing Finn's eyes suddenly begin darting around the room. Suddenly, you break into a sprint, running back and forth around the room like a madman. Trace raises his gun, shouting to his cohort, "Where's it gonna be? Take the shot!"
"I can't tell.
Finn growls, firing a shot that whizzes off the carpet in the spot your foot was moving to occupy. If these bozos thought that throwing away your gun meant you were unarmed, they were dead wrong. As Trace fires at you blindly, you throw a knife from your coat pocket. The knife hits him square between the eyes, but not before a shot rings out. You grunt, feeling the impact of a bullet against the Kevlar vest under your shirt, knocking you against the bookshelves. That takes care of Trace, but Finn is another story. You can't sprint around the room anymore with a broken rib. Finn doesn't hesitate, shooting once. You wince, the bullet lodging itself in a book next to your ear. Just an ounce of luck. That's all you needed.
Bastard.
Finn approaches, marching towards you to get a more sure shot, but this gives you your own sure shot. Another knife lands between his eyes before he can even take a step. As he slumps on the floor, you grip the bookshelf to stand, feeling the dull throb in your chest. You open your shirt, taking the impacted bullet out of your vest, flicking it to the ground. That was a little close of a call for your first felt encounter. You wheeze as you lean over to pick your gun. No time to admire the wainscoting or the banisters from here on out. You are no longer Diamonds Drew. Your name is Spade Slick. The elevator slows to a halt, the antique floor indicator above the door reading 10. 10 is 4 floors off your mark, but it's better than taking the fucking stairs. No offense, Droog and Hearts. The doors smoothly slide open, and with a cheerful ding, you take a step out, peeking from side to side. Out the window you can see the night sky getting brighter, the stars completely gone now. If you weren't in the throes of a home invasion, you might ponder that more deeply. From Droog's floor plan, you know that there are stairs to your left, so you make your way to them with care. Along the hallway are clocks. So many fucking clocks. Grandfather clocks, antique alarm clocks, digital clocks, most of them ticking away in an annoying synchronized rhythm. It makes sense that there would be so many, since each one of these felt schmucks has a bunch of time powers and about as much sense as a goldfish. Tick, tock, tick, tock. The rhythm is making your blood pressure rise. With the blunt end of your cane, you bash a battery-operated clock on a table with a satisfying clockwork crunch. You smash the face of a large grandfather clock, then a small alarm clock, then a plastic wall clock, and before you know it, the hallway is a timepiece graveyard, now silent except for the gentle tinkling of a chandelier high above. You admire your handiwork. You missed your calling as a domestic demolitionist. Then the silence is broken by the most irritating voice you've ever heard in your entire life.
Halt, evildoer!
From behind you bellows the voice of a deranged-looking leprechaun, a cloak billowing behind him. His top hat is dark green with a small 6 above his brim. His collar is upturned, coming almost up to his chin, his chest heaving with breathless excitement.
You are trespassing on the hallowed ground of the Felt Manor, your ill intent rolling from your unpleasant visage in waves,
says this guy. You remember his name from the dossier. Die. How quaint. His name is about to be very apt. Don't you have some damsel to tie to the train tracks, you say, remarking on his idiotic getup. All he needs is a curly mustache, and he'd look like a stereotypical ne'er-do-well from some antique movie. You lower yourself to a battle stance, holding your cane like a club. A grin twitches on your face. You're excited for a chance to spill some leprechaun blood, and this guy is starting to look like the perfect pincushion. Without waiting for this poser to pontificate, you pounce, leaping forth. Dai reaches into his coat pocket, making you hesitate. Did you just bring a club to a gunfight? To your confusion, however, Dai doesn't withdraw a gun, but a little doll. Even creepier, it's a doll that looks just like you, complete even with a little felt cane.
Cower in fear, ignoble gangster.
Dai laughs with his head tossed back as if he's just revealed his dastardly plan. You wince. You're kind of ruining this for me, guy. You point at the doll. I mean, it's creepy you got a doll of me, but it's weird you ain't even try to fight back. Dai's eyebrows waggle menacingly.
Oh, but I am fighting back, Spade Slick. Watch in horror as the powers of the great Dai are made manifest.
From his coat pocket, Dai withdraws a pin, jabbing it into the Slick doll's arm. You wince instinctively. Everyone knows if you poke an effigy, then the poking happens in real life. But nothing happens. You scoff at him, chuckling. A little embarrassed you fell for it. This isn't some superpowered guy. This is a grade A delusional moron. And delusional morons you can deal with. You spring forward again, but you feel a sudden pain in your arm, like someone is holding it, yanking you back. You look down at your limb and you realize it is entirely immobile. Ah, fuck. He is a superpowered guy.
Toil in your torment, worm, Dai says triumphantly, for I am Dai, the owner of your very body. Each pin I place in your effigy freezes your limb in time, unaffected by the flowing of entropy.
Wait, you cry as Dai sticks a needle through your other hand. It's frozen midair, fist clenched around your cane. Your teeth grit.
Nice try, Spade Slick, but whoever I prepare an effigy of is under my control.
Dai sneers at you, pacing around your helpless body. You squirm, trying to kick him with your free leg, but you can't shift your arms whatsoever in midair. Beneath the light of the chandelier high above, swinging precariously from the kerfuffle below, you look like a shiny black statue.
I expected you to put up more of a fight, Spade Slick.
Dai is suddenly cut off, as you use your toe to slip off a shoe, partially, and kick it right in Dai's face. Your right leg is now shoeless, but Dai looks nice and pissed off.
Do not interrupt my gloating,
Dai says petulantly, throwing the shoe to the floor. He stabs another needle through your leg, freezing it in the middle of you toeing off your other shoe.
I think we've had enough fun, don't you?
Dai withdraws a butterfly knife, deftly flipping it over his wrist. You glare at him.
No,
you say sarcastically, feeling as if this charade is nearing its end.
I don't think we've had enough fun either,
says a low feminine voice from behind Dai. Dai's eyes widen, and he turns around, revealing a gray-skinned being behind him. You gawk. When did she arrive? How long has she been here? And more importantly, who the hell is she? There's no entry in the dossier for a depressed-looking gray bitch with ram horns. Dai appears to recognize this woman, bowing to her politely.
Miss Handmaid, what is the meaning of this? I was merely executing this cur per the orders of our good doctor.
Dai appears frightened of the interloper. You like where this is going. You notice something else, too. Feeling returning to your left hand. The one Dai froze first. You see the pin sliding out of the doll in the distracted Dai's digits.
I got bored, says this handmade person. Doc's waiting for his stupid servant to get here, and I heard there was some fun down here to be had.
Miss,
Dai says apprehensively,
you must go back to Doc's study. We are trying to prevent these ruffians from getting to him.
Are you?
Asks the handmaid. Crosses her arms. You shrug in response, giving her a wicked grin.
Sounds fun,
says the handmaid mildly. She suddenly plucks the effigy from Dai's hands, who scrambles for it desperately.
Miss, please, you are trifling with the greatest weapon of the great Dai. You can't.
Before Dai can finish his begging for his dolly back, the handmaid suddenly vanishes without a trace. You don't know who that broad is, but you really like her. This whole time you've been keeping your left arm locked in place, pretending it's been frozen, hoping Dai wouldn't notice, waiting for the right moment. When he stomps towards you holding that knife, your moment comes, suddenly reaching out a hand and striking him in the face.
Oh, my stars!
He exclaims, staggering back out of your punch range. Furious, you're ready to strike again, but before he can, there's a voice from up above.
Hey, mister,
says the handmaid, addressing you, somehow having appeared on the top of the precarious chandelier. You and Di both look skyward in time to see her slice through the rope, holding the thing up with a box cutter. She completes her thought with a gleeful grin. "Get out of the way!" With a horrified scream, Di is crushed beneath glowing crystals and candles, unable to leap out of the way in the 1 second it takes for the chandelier to crash on the floor. There's only one problem with following the handmaid's suggestion of getting out of the way. Parts of your body are frozen in time. So while normally you would guffaw at Di's unceremonious and pointless death and admire his blood spattering the walls, you cannot, because your mouth is too full of screams to do anything else. You watch the chandelier crush your legs. You changed your mind. This gray-skinned girl sucks. As you feel yourself begin to feel woozy from pain, you slump backwards. You feel Di's control disappear too late, and your body release from his weird effigy and into the cold embrace of the chandelier. You feel darkness creeping into the corners of your vision from blood loss, but you can't stop now. You refuse to let yourself. You smack your face a few times and unsheath your blade from the tip of your cane. You look down at your leg, mangled below the knee by the chandelier, bones turned into powder, skin shredded like paper. You look at your blade, sharp and small. You shiver. This is going to take a lot of cutting. Your name is no longer Spade Slick. Thank you for listening to Homestuck Alternate Universe. HSAU is sponsored by contributions from viewers like you. To learn more, go to patreon.com/funkmclovin. This episode was directed, recorded, and edited by Funk McLovin. The cast, in no particular order: AE as Terezi, articulately composed as Rose and Mom, Bucky as Carcat, Captain Lazar as Jack Noir, Eclipi as Gamzee and Equius, Janaya as Kanaya and Jade, Pakin as Tavros, Technically Dead as Solix, Harper as Vriska, Shrimp as Nepeta, and West as Pfeffery. Art by Sunny Dionysus, Gastro, and Clown's Kiss. Supplemental art by Funk McLovin based on characters by Andrew Hussie. Special thanks to Daft Class, Yo It's Crow, and Andrew Hussie. Homestuck Alternate Universe is not affiliated with What Pumpkin or Viz Media. To read Homestuck's original webcomic, please go to homestuck.com or bambosh.dev/unofficial-homestuck-collection. Thank you.